Alright, you guys, I'm trying this again. This is my fourth attempt. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? I have some information I want to share with you. It's about children, and specifically my daughter, my 7-year-old, Jillian. But it goes along with all the children in that age range, all the children being born now. They are not the same as we were when we were born. They are not the same as my older girls were when they were born. This is a whole different thing, a whole different group of children, and they're very special. So first, let me start out by explaining the situation that happened that led up to this. So Jillian always used to go to bed with no TV. You know, I would read her a book, sing her a song, whatever, and kiss her goodnight, and she would just fall asleep. And because she has panic disorder, which I explained in my video about my 7 years with Jillian, she was diagnosed with panic disorder when she was 3 years old because of me, because of my fight or flight and my fear of losing her. You know, she wasn't a planned pregnancy. I wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. So all of a sudden, I've got 2 children that I've already buried, and I'm having another child. So my brain goes into overdrive. Like, I need to keep this child alive. And so instead of being her mommy, I was surviving her instead of raising her. And so she had a lot of trauma in the first 5 years of her life, 6 years even. And we were isolated. It was just me and her. I was working full-time as an advocate, over full-time. So she was getting trauma from my job. She was getting trauma from my stress. I was having vicarious trauma, and it was just a mess. It was hard. I was alone. I had no help. If I had to go out on a call in the middle of the night, I had to take her to her sister's and put her back to bed in the middle of the night, and then go out and do my thing, and then come back and get her and go back home. I mean, it was rough, you know, and I loved my job. I did, but it was rough for someone who didn't have someone living with them to help. So Jillian, when we moved out here on my partner's property, the change was so significant to her that she panicked. She completely and utterly panicked, and she was having meltdowns every day. She couldn't sleep at night. She was afraid of quiet. And so I started letting her watch some shows on TV at night to help her fall asleep. And that kind of turned into an every night thing. And so a couple of weeks ago, she comes to me all wide-eyed and says, you know, Mom, I was watching my YouTube stuff and it went on to something else, and I don't want to see it, and please take it off my history. Like, I don't want to watch this. And it was not okay what she had stumbled upon. And she was watching one of her kid YouTube channels. I have restrictions on it, and still something very sexual in nature came on, and she's 7. So that led me into having to have that talk with her. And I just did it in the way of biology, anatomy, and, you know, reproduction and stuff like that as best as I could. But I said, you know, sweetie, let's take a break. Let's try to go back to how we used to be, to where you went to bed without any sound. And that's going to help you in so many ways. It's going to calm your mind. It's going to declutter, because you're so overstimulated. You already have a racing mind. You're so overstimulated that when you're falling asleep with the TV on, whatever it is, even if it's happy, even if it's whatever, it's still information, just constant information that isn't helpful information. You know, it's just a lot of background noise. And Jill doesn't need that. She doesn't need extra stimulation. So she surprisingly was like, yeah, let's not watch TV at bedtime. So I started again singing a couple songs, reading her a book, and she would fall asleep and sleep all night, sleep really good, wake up happy. Like, I was like, oh, this is good. You know, she's understanding instead of fighting me on this. And so she went 3 nights, no TV, 3 days without TV even. She didn't even want it on during the day at that point, because she could feel that she could think clearer and that she could quiet her mind easier. And this little girl is 7. And So last night, she asked me, Mom, we've done really good. I haven't watched any TV. Can I watch Netflix for a little while tonight? And it's just this little show she likes to watch. It's called Ricky, Nikki, Dickie, and Dawn. It's about some quadruplets, and it's just a cute little sitcom. And so I was like, yeah, we can do that for a while, and then I'll come in and turn it off and go to sleep. And I ended up falling asleep, and I woke up at midnight, and I went to check on her, and she was crying, and she was wide-eyed. And I said, what is wrong? And you're still awake, honey. What's going on? And she goes, I want to turn the TV off, but I'm too scared. She was in a complete overstimulated panic attack from the TV. And she felt she couldn't get off the bed to go get her remote to turn it off. Like, she was just terrified. And I felt so bad that I had fallen asleep. And she said, please put your arms around me and hold me really tight, Mom. There's something in my room. And I was, I looked around and I said, I don't see anything. And then I remembered, that doesn't matter. I said, what do you see? And she said, they're going to kill me. I don't know what they are. And I said, so I'm going to say a prayer, and we're going to talk to our higher selves and our spirit guides, our guardian angels, and we're going to have them get rid of these entities that you're afraid of. And let me tell you, these entities only show up when she is overstimulated, panicked, and watching TV. So we got rid of them. She said they left and asked me to just wrap my arms around her tight and hold her all night. And she had said a couple of weeks ago, Mommy, if everybody was like you, there wouldn't be any bad people and there would be no scary things in this world. And it melted my heart. And I reminded her, I said, do you trust me? You said I'm good. I'm good. My intentions are good. Jill, you're a lot like me. You're an empath. I'm an empath. We can see things. We can feel things. And when our brains are cluttered, overstimulated, TV 24/7, whatever it is, we can't use our gifts. We can't declutter. We can't get rid of the overstimulation. And she understood it, and she completely agreed. She's like, take the TV out of my room. It's evil. And I said, well, we don't need to do that. We just need to make boundaries. We need to make sure that we're using it in the right way. It can be fun to have a movie night, all of us, or whatever. But sleeping with the TV on for you, being who you are, it just doesn't work. And she's like, I know. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. So Jill was born remembering all of her past lives. She was born woke, like all kids are these days, especially. They really know more than we do because we were born and then we were so conditioned, and if you really take a look at your children, your young children, they're different. I've had kids in 3 different decades. My youngest to my oldest, who just passed, are 20 years apart. And all of them, it's so different. But Jillian is very different. She is what I believe people call an indigo child. I call her my little starseed. But she is so smart, and she is so incredibly in tune that she knows that if she gets rid of this extra noise and extra stimulation, that she's going to be able to meditate, which is something she wants to do. And so we had, a long talk about all that stuff. You can meditate now, you can do these things now. And she goes, the YouTube stuff I watch, which is those little kid reality shows where they are always unboxing all these toys, and the parents are millionaires because of their kids' channel, and they have mansions they live in, and I said, Jill, that those kinds of shows bring envy, they bring wanting, they bring emotions and feelings that aren't positive. We're not rich. We don't get boxes of toys delivered to us every day. I'm not married to your dad. It can make these feelings that you don't even quite recognize harbor in your heart. And she agreed. She agreed with me. And she said, no kids should watch those anymore. And I said, well, we can't really control that, but we can control what we put in, what we input to our own brains and minds and souls. And so she came up with this idea. She said, she's always wanted to make a YouTube channel with playing with her toys. But she said, I want to make a YouTube channel that helps kids. And I said, like, what are you thinking, you know? And she said, maybe I could read books to them. I said, I think that is such a good idea. I am so proud of you for coming up with that idea. And I posted her first little attempt on Facebook yesterday. If you want to check it out, it's on Missy Lynn Facebook. It's my personal one. And I'm getting in the process of setting her up a YouTube channel. She's reading these books. She's got several that she's done. I've recorded, and we're going to get ready to make her channel and post them. But she doesn't just sit there and read. She interacts. She asks the kids, like, do you see that? Can you find this in the book? And, you know, this one's jumping, and she'll jump, and she changes her voices, and she does amazing. You know, I've told you guys she's really intelligent, so she can really read, you know, some intense books that are for much older kids. But she's reading books. Sorry, my cat's like trying to knock over my camera. She's reading books that are for younger kids, so that she can help these kids watch a good YouTube channel. And at the beginning of it, she says, you know, there's lots of shows out there that kids have lots of toys and money, and, you know, we watch them, and she said, it's really not healthy. And that's her own words. It was the sweetest little thing I've ever seen. She's getting ready right now to do her next one. She's going to read the Pop Fish. And she wants to make a difference. She wants to change things. And so we got a lot of feedback on her Facebook, and she's just elated. You know, people are like, my kid loved it. My kid wants to subscribe. What's the channel name? Hey, Jean, how are you? And I'm just so damn proud of her. You know, I am so proud of her. A 7-year-old who decides TV is evil, and I lose connection again. TV's evil, and instead of just throwing it out and being done with it, she wanted to do something with it to make it better. And that's what she's doing. My little girl is doing what I'm doing on her level for kids her age and younger. And she even says, if your parents don't have time to read you books, you know, or if you don't have enough money to buy books, I'll read you a nighttime story every night. Even if I post it at a different time, you can watch it at night, and I'll read you your nighttime story. And she said, some parents, they're not bad. They just have to work and they don't have time, you know. And she just goes on and to explain all of these things as to why she's doing this. And it's amazing. So back to the awakening part for children. Jill was born woke. She, you know, and all of our children now are. If you really pay attention to your children, I'd say 7, 8, 9, 10 and under, whatever. I don't know for sure. I need to research. They're different than kids used to be. They're being born into this world where a massive shift is happening. A massive shift. They're watching adults awaken and come into their abilities and gifts, and they already know these things. Like I told you, Jill explained to me how the universe works when she was 3. And so now she's able, because she's able to quiet her mind without watching TV, she was able to come up with a way to help and to do her part as a child. And I wanted to also tell you, you know, we need to change our thinking around these kids. You know, the way we raised and disciplined and all the things before, it's not going to work on these kids. It's not. And it doesn't. You know, if Jill gets in trouble or gets disciplined, I'm sorry, the connection, what the hell? If she gets disciplined, it doesn't help her change her behavior. It makes her think she's a bad human, and she gets really, really down on herself. So we talk things out, you know, and the way I disciplined before was I would just take something away or time out for a little while. It doesn't help. What it does is it shatters her self-esteem. I did something so wrong that my mom is putting me alone in my room, and I can't figure it out. and I did something so wrong, my mom's taking one of my favorite toys away. Like, I'm bad, you know, and I discovered that. And then I also heard it on another podcast. It was a channeling one, and talking about how kids are really different. And it just resonated with me because Jillian is so very different. And I'm trying to tell her that she's not that different. There are so many kids the same as her, but the parents just don't recognize it. You know, the parents aren't awoke. They're not seeing it. They're trying to continue on, you know, the old traditional way of parenting and disciplining, and it does not work with these children. It doesn't. And I'm not saying let your kids run around wild and crazy. She doesn't. When I treat her more as a peer and respect her as her own being, her own little light being, she has all the respect in the world, and she doesn't even need disciplined because she feels respected and she feels like a good person, and then she lives that out. So take note. If you have little ones, look at them. Look in their eyes, like really look at them. Ask them how they feel about things. Ask them questions about the universe. Ask them things. They know. Their answers are going to surprise you. And anyways, it just was such an awesome experience. You know, it was really, really fucking incredible to watch her completely flip. Like I said, she was born woke, but it's like she re-awoke. She was reborn again. And now she's even higher up on this scale of awakening. And, you know, she hates being an empath. And so I talked to her about that last night too. You know, empath is a gift. I hated it too, but I'm learning now how to make boundaries. So we talked about boundaries and her, you know, empath. And she goes, is it like Elsa? Like, do I have to keep it hidden? And I said, no, it's not something you have to keep hidden. It's something you just have to protect yourself from. Being an empath is helpful to others, but it can hurt us if we don't take care of ourselves too. You know, so she's so in tune. She's asking all these questions. She's made the conscious decision on her own to stop watching YouTube. And I use YouTube. I love YouTube. It's a great platform. For kids, I'm a little wary, you know, and I'm a mom. That's just, you know, and wary for good reason, you know. And she didn't have to tell me she saw something. She didn't, you know, understand. She could have watched it. She could have indulged in it. She could have totally fucked up her mind. But she ran to me and said, help me get this off my TV. And then decided, no more TV. She's slower in her talking. She's not waiting to talk when I'm talking anymore. She listens and then talks. Like, this little girl is going to be something fucking incredible. You know, I mean, she's disciplining herself. It doesn't need to come from me, really. You know, I'm guiding her, and she's guiding me. She's guiding me. And so when you treat your child like a person, like a human, instead of like children should be seen and not heard, they're going to flourish, and they're going to be the ones living in this new world that we're all doing the shadow work for right now. Yes, they do. They do. Children know, and we don't give them that. We rob them of that by conditioning them, and we'll never condition her again, ever. I don't even want her to fucking go to school, but you know, she loves school. Jill loves going to school. Yeah, I figured it's okay. It's all good. You know, so she loves school, and she's so smart. She's just ahead of everything anyways. It's just more social for her, I think, at this point. But I really want to send her to one of those schools for, you know, enlightenment. You know, and I don't know if we have any around here. I need to start looking around. But I'm falling apart, you guys. Falling apart. So, my little girl is doing her own YouTube channel. It's called Storytime with Jillian. And I'll I'll advertise it once we get it up and going. But what an amazing fucking thing. You know? When I was grieving so bad for Colette, before I got the vision and felt better, she took on the role of taking care of me. And now that she's seen me slow down and me do better, she's been crying for her sister and grieving and talking to me about it. I'm letting her be her person. Not, you're my child and you will do as I say. You know, which, yes, to a degree, we have to keep them safe. But I promise you, there's not much that I could teach her that she doesn't already know. You know, and I'm open with her. I told her, you know, it's not your job to take care of my emotions, but thank you for trying to help me. Now let me help you. You know, let's help each other. You know, I got a lot of my grieving out. It's your turn. You know, and she's grieving. And she's fucking incredible. She's fucking incredible. And I really hope this worked because it shows that I have no connection. Can you guys hear me at all? Anyways, so truly, we need to get out of this mindset of where the parents, they're the kids. It's really, they're not just the kids. They're children born in this new era, and they're new children. And they may be old souls. They may be, you know, have done this a million times. Jill has. You know, I know several of her past lives. Her most prominent ones that she remembered, you know, I know them. So I know she's been around the block a few times. And Colette was an old soul too, you know. And so when we start treating our children with respect, I think I know, well, for me, I've seen a huge change. I believe it will be the same for you. You know, it's almost patronizing. We don't want to make them feel less than, because they're not. They're not less than. They are oftentimes more than, because they are not conditioned the way we were conditioned. They were not conditioned the way we were. And so if you continue in with the not conditioning them, they're going to just, like I said, do amazing things, like my daughter already is. She's helping on the level that she can help. She's happy. She feels respected. She feels like a person, not a stupid little kid. And it's just incredible. So pay attention. Look into your kids' eyes. Ask them questions. Ask them how they feel about things. Ask them what they think. Ask them what they think about awakening. Ask them what they think about the universe and the world and how things go and government and all the things. Jillian has the answers for all of those things. And your kids probably will too. Because it's the kids that are being born now that are different. They're the ones that are going to be running all this stuff. The new world that we're all working on getting to. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. You know, it's really, really incredible to see a 7-year-old decide that TV is evil and not just get rid of it, but decide to try to change it. You know, how incredible is that? She wouldn't have had that freedom if I was one of those parents that was like, you are a child and you will do as I say. No TV, nothing. You know, I kind of gave her the choice. And look at what she chose to do. And she's smiling. She's allowing herself to grieve. She's reawakening. And I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. And it's going to change our lives here at home. You know, it's going to change so many things for all of us, but especially for her little broken soul. We're mending it. Mend your kids' soul. Help them. Help them become the light being that they are. Help them know who they are. Jill was like out of the womb. I'm Jill and I'm this. Like she was just already. But help your kids. Treat them with respect, you know? Treat them with respect. Also, don't be one of those parents that give them sugar and candy all the time and colored dyes and then get them in trouble for their behavior after. That's fucked up. And that's one of the things that makes me probably the most upset about parents. Even at Jill's school, they give candy. She says, I can't eat it. She won't eat it because she knows what it does to her mind. It speeds up her mind, it speeds up her thoughts, and then she goes into panic again. So don't be one of the parents that gives your kids the very thing that makes them act in the very way that you get them in trouble for. That's your fucking fault as a parent. That is your fault. We know what we need to eat. We know what is good for us. We know what's good for our children. We know what to do. We're at the point to where we know what to do, right? We know we need to eat differently. We know we need to do so many things differently. And fucking do it. It's not easy, but it's easy now. When I first started with Jill's diet, I mean, I was like, what the fuck? Reading all these labels and all the things. But now we just know. We just know. And it's easy now. So put good food in their body that helps them. Helps their brain function, you know, not makes them go out of control. That's not fair. That's almost like an abuser. What kind of person would give something to someone and then punish them for what you gave them and how it made them react? That's your fault as a parent. So start there. I see kids just out of control, off the chain, and I see them eating cupcakes with red frosting and candy and suckers and all this stuff. Shit, just horrible stuff. What do you expect from them? And then you're going to get them in trouble because you gave them something that is overstimulating them. So that's another bit of advice. You know, that's what we do with Jill. Jill eats vegetables, and I mean, that girl eats healthier than me. I'm working on it. I have an eating disorder, so I'm working on it. But she loves vegetables. She loves fruit. She loves healthy foods. And she has no problem saying, I'm sorry, I can't eat that. And she's just incredible. And I believe it's mainly because of who she is, my little starseed, and also because I respect her as a person. She's a human. Age is what? What is age? She's fucking smart. You can learn a lot from your kids. Look at them. Pay attention to them. Ask them what they want to do to help. Ask them what their part should be. Jill figured hers out. Story time with Jillian. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see her. She's encouraging these kids. You know? She's trying to give an alternative instead of just turn her back on the TV. How incredible is that? Anyways, I know I had more to say, but the internet connection's distracting me. So maybe I'll do a part 2. But I hope you guys really heard this message. I'm going to repost it. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. Overstimulation, food, sugars, dyes. You're not giving your kids a chance. Respect them as a person, as a human. They are not less than us. They're really, really not. Most of them are smarter than us. Be their friend. Be their parent. Guide them, yes. But be their friend. Give them that confidence that they are liked, they are loved, they're smart. Let them come up with these ideas like Jill did to help kids. Let them feel good about what they're doing as their part. Jill knows she's a part of the collective. She knows. She knows. And it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. Like, I see growth every single day now. You know, and now she's going to be able to start meditating because her mind is slowing down. And she has a purpose. She has a purpose. So she's not just, lost. She has a purpose. First thing she said when she woke up this morning is, I picked my book for my story of the day. You know, she's excited to help. Give that gift to your children. Give them options. Ask them what they want to do. You know, tell them about things. Be real with them. Not on every level, of course. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. I kind of got pushed into the birds and the bees talk because of YouTube, unfortunately. You know, and we have parental settings. So I don't know. And I love YouTube. I love using it as a platform. So I'm not talking negative about YouTube, but it can be dangerous for kids. It really can. And to see that my daughter decided to turn it, flip it, and use it for good, my heart is so full. And it's because I respect her as a person. I don't give her a bunch of shit that makes her brain crazy. And I listen to her. And I ask her for advice, and I ask her what her ideas are. Talked about this. It's just, this is going on right now. Like, what do you think? You know? They have answers and they have a lot to say. Let them speak. And give them a fucking fighting chance by not feeding them shit. You eat all that kind of stuff and see how you feel. Or you stop eating it and see how you feel. And then you'll realize what you're doing. Poisoning your children, really. Poisoning their brains. It's all a part of the distraction. If kids are out of control because they're all hopped up on sugar and stuff, parents are distracted trying to deal with these out of control children. Children are distracted because they don't know what the fuck's going on. Give your kids a fighting chance. Unconditional love, and treat them like a fucking human, not a baby. Unless they want to be. Like Jill will tell me, I want to be your little girl right now, Mom, tickle me. You know, I want to laugh and giggle with you. I mean, that's how much insight she has. She knows what she wants and when she needs it and what. She's fucking incredible. And I put a fire up there for my thing because she's a fire sign. And it's funny because it makes her mad. She wants to be a water sign, but she's a fire sign. And, so I'm trying to teach her how to love being an empath and use it as a gift. Love being the sign that she is, the astrological signs, she fills the part. She fills the part. She's a good girl. And I can't take credit, really, because all I did was fuck everything up when she was born. Because I was so fucked up myself in fight or flight and fear. So she's this little amazing human because I'm allowing her to be herself and I'm feeding her good things. And I'm right beside her supporting what she wants to do. As long as it's a good thing to do. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. And it's her turn. So she needs the phone. She's going to go read a book, Story Time with Jillian. And I will talk to you guys later. Right? Have a good fucking day. Smile beautiful. Love your children. Fucking love your children and respect them. They're not in the way.